Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Black Lightning Season 1. So today we're going to be doing a review for Episode 1, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, so you don't miss any Black Lightning videos later this year. So this episode was brilliant. I really enjoyed the premiere episode, and it totally blew me away because I didn't expect too much from this TV show. I thought it would be an average show, and it seemed to be like this episode was definitely above average. I think it's definitely one of the best CW shows out there. I can't really judge as to where I would put it between Legends and Arrow, but definitely Flash and Supergirl are my favourite, you guys know that, but it's hard to judge with just one episode, so we'll have to wait and see. I guess I can judge after a whole season because it's only just started and it's not fair to judge a show like that, but I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, so we're going to be going through some stuff. So sorry also that I didn't upload this yesterday when it actually aired. It's just due to the fact of time differences, and also the Flash was on yesterday and that kind of takes priority because that's a big thing on my channel. But there is definitely a need for Black Lightning videos because loads of you guys have been asking where is the review over the past few days, so I'm sorry for that, but here we go. So Black Lightning, it's introduced that straight away it's not your average superhero origin story. So he has been a hero for many years, and I think he retired for 9 years or so, he said, and so he used to be this really good fighter in the past, and with the help of his friend Peter Gamby, who was actually really good in this episode, even with the minimal amount of time that we actually had with him. I really do like James Remar. He's played many popular roles on TV shows and films, but most notably to me, NCIS Los Angeles. I really like him on there, although he's only been in a few episodes. He's a great actor. So in the comics, James Remar's character Peter actually made Black Lightning's suit, and he was Jefferson's friend, so they're obviously going along with that, but they're twisting his character a tiny bit to adapt it to TV. But that's what's happening on the show. He actually made Black Lightning's suit, and I'm guessing he's going to make Thunder's suit in the next couple of episodes because we saw that in a recent poster that was revealed. But moving on, so there was a news report in the episode, and this really caught my attention because they mentioned that Black Lightning was known as a vigilante and other heroes nationwide were actually known as superheroes. So obviously that touches on the social commentary, we'll get onto that in a minute, but the idea of there being other heroes with superpowers, considering he called them superheroes, so I'm guessing they do have powers, that leaves us to the question, is it Static Shock, is it someone in the Arrowverse? But for now, Black Lightning is not linked into the Arrowverse. Even with that promo the other day, doesn't mean he's linked in. So as of now, the showrunners have said no, it's not, but there's definitely potential. The actors would like to cross over with the Arrowverse. I think that would be really cool, but for now I feel like this season should just go on by itself, and then maybe in season 2 they can cross over and do some stuff with the Flash or Arrow. I think it would be best linked with Arrow because the tone of the show is more like Arrow than any other DC TV show as of now. But the 100 Gang are straight away established in this episode, so really this episode didn't take very long to establish roughly what's going to be happening this season. So the 100 Gang are obviously your typical gang, and they're led by Tobias Well, and we'll talk about Tobias in a minute, but we get to meet a few members of the 100 Gang, and we get to see how ruthless they are. They're willing to shoot anyone practically, and so they establish that they're not allowed to shoot up some places, they can't take over some of these places, you have to stay back. But in this episode, the 100 Gang, a small segment of them actually end up getting taken down just due to one guy's silly mistake of actually kidnapping Jennifer and Anissa, Jefferson's daughters. So they actually get kidnapped by members of the 100 Gang, and that ends up with Black Lightning returning. So that's just a way for him to return. So I feel like they were a bit of a plot device in this episode in order for Black Lightning to return, and I think that's a good thing. And by the end of the episode, it seems like we're going to be dealing with the bigger fish, that being Tobias Well, later on in the season, but we'll talk about him in a minute. So the social commentary was probably one of the best things of this episode because obviously I don't live in America, but in America, obviously around the world, we hear tales of the ruthlessness of police, and there was one especially powerful scene where Jefferson's actually pulled over in the dark, and the description of the assailant was just a black guy, and they pulled over Jefferson. So that just shows how some policemen, and I'm not saying all policemen in America are like that, but the effect of this social commentary actually affects everyone around the world. It's not just America. We just hear the most tales from there, and they aren't painting the police as bad because remember, the guy in charge of the police is a good cop. There's just these bad ones here and there, and I feel like this show is definitely going to crack down on those bad policemen who are racist and who discriminate and take advantage of their power in society. And I feel like they did a really good job at actually addressing this and saying no, this is not right. So that was a very strong part of the episode, and this season I I'm hoping for a balance between the superhero action and the social commentary. I don't really want one to take over the other, because I feel like with it being at its core a social commentary superhero show, it should be a combination of both, and I feel like if one takes over the other, I feel like they're going to lose a lot of viewers if it's just superhero action and it loses its social commentary, or the other way around. So I feel like at the moment they should carry on with how they went actually in this episode, because it was really powerful, just the balance of that together. So Black Lightning in this episode, we get to experience his powers, because this is the premiere episode and his powers are really good. Although the CGI was a bit iffy here and then, we can look past it because of the budget of the show. It's a CW show, they don't have the biggest budgets like say Game of Thrones on HBO, and how his powers actually manifest is really cool. It's inside of him and he's not a metahuman, he was just born with it. So I don't think they're going to explain that, that's sort of a plot hole, but we'll have to look past that because apparently people can get superpowers genetically in this world, but we'll wait and see if we get any confirmation on that. So with Jefferson coming back to being Black Lightning, he gets a new suit and we see scenes of him in the past on CCTV fighting criminals, and these people in the community are really inspired by him, and it's just the few people calling him vigilantes. Obviously the police have to try and track him down because he's working outside the law. We all know that from Arrow and the Flash and everything like that, but he comes back with a new suit and everyone is really inspired, and at the end fight scene they really use it to their advantage, this new suit. So there were great fight scenes in this episode and we got an experience of how Jefferson is going to fight and what he's actually going to stand for. And Jefferson, it's established he's a great fighter due to his past, and every criminal is really scared of Black Lightning. He's got a reputation. Jennifer and Anissa get kidnapped in this episode by the 100 gang, and at the end of the episode we see Thunder, that being Anissa, finally manifesting her powers for the first time. And so over the next couple of episodes we're going to explore her becoming this superhero, because we know she'll get the suit, and I'm guessing Peter Gamby will actually in the end make the new suit that we saw on the poster for her, so I'm very excited for that. And also I wanted to talk about how badass both Jennifer and Anissa were. They were taking down the 100 gang members. Jennifer kicked one in the genitals and Anissa literally flipped one of them over, so it was really awesome seeing how badass they actually were. But Tobias, well, this is the last thing I wanted to talk about. He's going to be the supposed main villain for the season, I think that was confirmed, and I'm not too sure about him. We didn't see much of him in this episode. I wasn't too intrigued. Maybe that was the only part of the episode that didn't really get me going, so I'm not too excited about him. I'm definitely optimistic about his character. We'll have to wait and see. He hasn't really acted before. I think the guy goes under the name Crondon and he's a rapper, so we'll see about his performance, but he didn't really get much in this episode, so we have to wait and see. But I'm so looking forward to episode 2, so I will have my review out next week for Black Lightning season 1 episode 2. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like sharp preteen.